Yo, I'm KOK. This is my second video on DSR with me playing as DPS. First one I did was Summoner and it was my first clear and did not play too good in that one. Let's not talk about that one too much. This is a Picto clear, Picto being the new job in Dawn Trail, and also Picto turbo busted in DSR, top, and Fruit. Downtime painting is just too OP. So starting off with the Vault Knights. I will say, if you're expecting perfect gameplay, you're not going to get it here. However, did you know I made a video teaching you how to find good rotations for each fight? If you want perfect rotational gameplay, just watch my video and you'll know how to look up logs and find it. I did play pretty okay in this clear. I got like a purple or something. I do remember fumbling P6 and P7 a bit, just because when it gets intense I try to focus mechanics over doing optimal rotation. For this knockback thingy, I addle the guy in the back. I don't know if that actually does anything for the damage, but that's what I was told a long time ago, so I just try to addle that guy in the back every time. Of course, use your knockback. And I got circle. Circles go west and east. Not a whole lot to say about Vault Knights. I will say, Picto does have a couple of really big buttons, so if your group is struggling to kill the two guys at the same time, whenever one guy dies, you can just dump your big abilities on the other guy. It'll help balance out the kills. Yeah, so I didn't play rotationally perfect in this entire POV, so don't copy exactly what I do. But I kind of like covered the basic idea of Picto, just trying not to overcap on your paints or your gauge. Other than that, try to paint in every downtime that you can. A little bit of PvP action happening here, but that's just par for the course for DSR PF. Alright, quick marker dance with the power of editing magic. Now on to P2. So, yeah, I cooked my own Picto rotation. I didn't really feel like studying logs for this, partly because I felt like I was doing okay, and also, it's also kind of fun figuring out your own rotation sometimes. I don't swift my first painting, and it does clip a little bit at the start, but that's because I like to swift my final paint at the end of this uptime phase. You can squeeze out a blue paint if you did good. I don't think I got it here. It's whatever. What's important is you get the 25 gauge by finishing your combo. So I paint once while waiting for the dash dudes. And then I paint my second thing right after I dodge for this cleave. And then I am able to orient myself and know where to go. So whenever you get the marker, you always want to keep an eye out for the other two people with the marker, just so you can quickly fill out the gap that you want to go to. You never want to just blindly go to a direction and end up in the same spot as someone else. You should have at least a little bit of awareness for the people around you. So for this little non 2-minute uptime window, you want to make sure you paint your hammer out just so it doesn't overcap, and also your wing muse. So I swift cast my wing muse here. It was a little bit too early. I probably could have greeted one extra GCD out, but it's whatever. I'm flexing for the P range here, so I'm going to the group 1 spot since the P range, my ranged buddy had the 2 marker. And DPS have meteors. Just vibing out here. Make sure to surecast, make sure to paint if you haven't yet. So I dump my 3 hammers into him and then Addle. Yeah, our kill times for every single phase in this clear is super fast. Ideally, you want to get 3 paints out here. The more paint you can squeeze out in the downtime phase, the better. So I get a 1 marker, and I have the forward. We're doing Westhog as is NA tradition, so I'm going to the east facing west. He's in first. And I am soaking the right 2 tower. Use your hammers for movements. You have the 3 hammer charges that flux around for 3 movement. And try to not overcap your gauge, try to not overcap your paints. Now, other than that, you want to try to start this next 2-minute window with all 3 paints up. And it's okay to use Holy and White just for some movement whenever you need it. I'm not even sure it's a loss anymore, it might just be a strict gain. I don't know. Whatever the case, it is a good button for movement especially. This is my second pot. Just do a standard burst. Try to... Since level 90 Picto has less buttons in their normal level 100 burst window, ideally you want to use 2 of the subtractive combos for your ley lines. Or Starry Muse, I guess is the correct term. Not a huge impact either way. Just a little bit of opti if you want to get into that. So, I didn't bring my Mog of the Ages over into Eyes, although it probably would have been a gain. Not using it in the 2-minute window and instead using it to cleave Eyes. But I do cleave with my second one here, and we're chillin'. Tab target, make sure the ranged eye is 40%. And you can just smack the melee eye a bit. Nothing crazy here. You can use your shield if you find yourself getting low, since you are rather squishy as a caster. I don't know. Picto? I honestly kind of like Picto as a DPS. It's not crazy hard to play. Like, it's pretty straightforward, and it does a lot of damage, so it fits the criteria of jobs I like to play and enjoy. Something that I can pick up and do competently well without too much studying is always nice for a personal enjoyment. So, Pure of Heart should addle this. You can even use your shield if you want. And then I paint whenever the guy gets to 0.1% HP, since doing damage there doesn't do anything anymore. And it prevents an overcap. Right here, you want to double paint, and this is probably the best use of Swift Cast in the entire fight, squeezing out your second paint right before the cutscene. It's probably like the one bit of opti that I know is definitely optimal, doing a double paint right there. You want to spend your paints before downtimes because you're going to want to repaint and rinse and repeat. Picto and Ultimate's just a constant balance between painting during downtime and then spending everything before the next downtime so you can paint during downtime some more. Because painting during downtime turns out it's pretty good. You get the tether here. 4 notches away from the star is where you want to stand. And dodge the twister. So I try to get my Starry Muse paint out, and then I kind of misjudged where I was supposed to stand, so I canceled it. But you know what? It's fine, because better to delay your GCD by 1 than to wipe the party because you were greeted. Even if this is a re-clear and not a C from 1, I'm always a mechanic respecter, playing for the clear. Doth of the Heavens, so I am second in line. After 2 quakes, you want to step out for the earthquake. And then run in. Figure out where you need to look. It will be between C and D. And since you're the caster, you want to caster LB. I target the dark ring by the A marker. That's just what I use, so I can start the caster LB without waiting for the actual meteors to spawn. You have plenty of time to get triple paints out for the start of P6. So my P6 paints and rotation is a little scuffed. I will be the first to admit that. It's nowhere near the most optimal you can play, but it's good enough. So Scholar is flexing for me since they are cool and based. It's always nice when the healer flexes for you since you get to chill in your ley lines. I got the first rot. As Picto, you do the most damage, so it's your responsibility to keep the dudes... It's your responsibility to keep the dragons balanced. Not solely your responsibility, but you got some really big hitting buttons, and if you use them improperly, you will cause wipes due to the Hand of Pain balance. During the Akka Fall cast, if they're balanced already, don't send your hammer, don't send your Comet in Black, just paint. You don't want to throw off the HP thresholds too bad. For Wrath Flames, I horribly mismanaged my instant cast here. Normally I want to triple hammer with a Swift Paint, but it's whatever. I had extra Holy and Whites to make up for my mistake. Again, you want to be tab targeting the dragons here, make sure they're as balanced as you can get them. Here, Hraesvelgar is high. You just want to dump everything into Hraesvelgar. Like, you're the Picto, you have some of the biggest single hitting buttons. You can definitely balance things properly by sending extra when you need to and not sending extra when you shouldn't. So with the hammer I was able to bring Hraesvelgar down to a good threshold. This 2-minute is kind of a mess for me. Well, I tried my best, I guess. I get Pyretic. I always double tap escape. And Machinist decides to hold W for some reason with Pyretic. I don't know. Some things can't be explained. And the dragons are dead. We are good. Didn't get all my lane line uses off. Doesn't matter. Oh, into P7. If you want to shield the big hit for the transition, you should wait until the second bleed falls off. As caster, your standard addles are Akmorn 1 and Giga Flare 2. Right here the bleed falls off and I double tap my Tempura Grassy. A little bit of extra shield. Might save some lives, you never know. And P7. Not really a whole lot to say, you just want to do the mechanic pretty much. I do uptime exos because they're fun. Definitely not necessary, especially if you have instant casts. Akmorn 1, this is my addle. If you have an out pattern for Akmorn 1, you want to step in so you can get healed by the other side's healer. Oh yeah, this happened. So I'm normally the second auto soak since I'm range 2 and the Machinist is range 1, but because the Machinist died, I decided to substitute as the first auto soaker for this pull. And then the White Mage decided to sub in for the second range soak, so the Machinist is now acting as healer 1. Some impromptu on the fly adjusting, but when you got proper awareness and you're comfortable enough with the fight, you'll be able to identify these things and flex and potentially save pulls when people mess up. This comes with comfort and lots of practice. This is I have over 40 DSR clears now, so I'm at least relatively comfortable in the fight. That doesn't mean I'll play optimally in the fight, but I'm comfortable enough to where I can do the mechanics consistently enough, even though my buttons might not always be perfect. Which is fine. My goal isn't to play perfect in every situation, it's just to resolve mechanics and play good enough. Giga Flare 2, this is your second addle for the phase, make sure you don't forget it. Since Giga Flares do a lot of damage. X Flares 3. Another uptime pattern. And finally, the third Akmorn. In pattern, gonna be in. If you're progging this phase for the first time, the single most important thing is to not die to the in and outs for every mechanic. The second you don't pay attention to it, you're just straight up dead. And it should be the number one thing you focus on. Every single time you want to first figure out the in and out, and then you figure out the Exas or the Akmorge or the Giga Flares. Boss is a little healthy because we had a couple of deaths, but a melee LB3 is enough to finish him off. So not a perfect clear, but good enough. Good enough for a purple, which, hey, fine by me. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something of value in this video, and I'll see you next time. Good luck on your prog.